It's kind of like a crazy story, but the thing that I've discovered is God's always kind of used really unusual, unnamed, unwanted weirdos to make a difference. You know, we talked about it in the Bible, but it's happening in the 21st century if you would just let yourself be that person. You know, the ordinary person that you think, how could I make a difference? And you know, 1 Corinthians, did you guys put that up? I probably need to pull it out here if you didn't. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 27 says, but God has chosen the foolish things of the world to put to shame the wise. And God has chosen the weak things of the world to put to shame things which are mighty. And I always laugh because I think this is my story. Foolish, I'm qualified. Weak, I'm qualified. The least likely, I'm qualified. Could you imagine if we stopped trying to be cool? If we stop trying to impress each other with what we've done and where we go and what my doctrine is and how intellectual I am and how smart I am and how slick I am and how cool I am, and we just said, you know what, I'm a fool for Christ. I'm a 45-year-old woman that is just a fool for Christ, because God has always used foolish people. Do you know how foolish Noah looked building an ark in a desert? Can you imagine what people would have said? Noah, what are you doing? I'm building an ark. What's an ark? I don't know. But rain's coming. What's rain? I haven't got a clue. So I'm building, I don't know, for I haven't got a clue. Can you imagine how foolish Moses looked as he turned up to the Red Sea? He's got a little stick. What are you going to do with your little rod, Moses? I don't know, but there's an Egyptian army behind us and a Red Sea in front of us, but I got my stick. It's kind of how I feel with A21 all the time. How foolish did Sarah look in the maternity ward in Walmart? Sarah, what are you looking for? Maternity clothes? Why? I'm having a baby. They would have thought she was like smoking crack. And then you've got the Israelites. How foolish did they look doing laps around Jericho? Just lapping around. Kind of might look a bit foolish, like a whole group of 200 churches in a basketball stadium in Miami. Looks a bit weird to the world. You're all coming together. You look a little bit weird. What might you be doing? Or how foolish David looked with his little slingshot and a mighty Goliath. Or how foolish Esther looked as she went into the king when she wasn't summoned. Or how foolish the 4 lepers looked at the gate of Samaria with a Syrian army inside. Or how foolish Caleb looked, who at 85 said, you know what, Joshua, I don't want my 401k. I don't want my little Winnebago camper van. I'm not retiring. I'm 85. I'm as young now as I was then. That's what Francis was talking about at the end. How foolish did the wise men look when they're on their little camel and they're going, what are you looking for? As they're looking at a star and they're like, a Messiah. How foolish did Peter look stepping out of a boat in the middle of a lake? How foolish did the woman with the issue of blood look as she reached up to the hem of his garment, believing that God might just heal her? How foolish did Paul and Silas look as they sang with their hands in chains in a prison cell? How foolish did a little boy look with a couple of pieces of fish and some bread and 5,000 people that needed to be fed? How foolish did Mary look as she turned up to Joseph and said, it was an angel. But anyway, that's another story. How foolish did Jesus Christ certainly look to so many as he stood half naked on a cross? And a whole lot of people looked around and said, that's your Messiah? That's your Savior? That's the King of the Jews? That's the guy that was going to help you? But you know what I've discovered? From Genesis to Revelation, God has always used ordinary, foolish people and foolish things to do extraordinary things. Let me just tell you what the results are when you dare to be a fool for God. You know what happened? Noah and his family, they were saved from the flood. Moses did see the Red Sea part. Sarah gave birth to Isaac. The Israelites saw the walls of Jericho come down. David defeated Goliath. Esther stopped the Jewish genocide. The lepers